And hello everyone, and thanks for coming. And today we're going to share a topic about our side project, the Scarlet OT, OT Adversary Emulation for front and private. So before we start, we would like to introduce ourselves. I'm Vic Huang, who is a member in Taiwan technical community named UCCU Hacker. And I'm interested in different domains, and I also share my research in the security conference in Japan and so on. And this is So Young. He's an independent researcher and also a security engineer. And he's also interested in OT and has shared his research on several different conferences. And this is the outline of this session. Our goal is to make an OT adversary emulation tool. So first, I will quickly go through the introduction about what is IT and OT and ICS, and then what is adversary emulation. And if we want to build an adversary emulation tool, what kind of we have to review and analyze the attack in the past and try to reproduce and extend those attacks. And so we made it as a tool. It's a Scarlet OT. And in the last part, we will explain how we extend the attack and also have a demo videos for using the script or the tool to attack the real devices. And in the last part, we will have suggestion for the enterprise which is going to use adversary emulation tools and some takeaway. Okay, let's start. So what is ICS? Is industrial control system, which is used for control and monitor the industrial process and operation. And there are two different domains in ICS. The first one is SCADA, and the next one is DCS. So starts from DCS, which is used for fine control, and you will have a control room and control card for different devices. And also it's used vendor customized control protocols, which is pretty different for every vendors. And for SCADA is they have HMI, the human machine interface, and POCs. I guess some of you have heard about that. And also it's used for remote control. So, and also it's used the public control protocols, which is easier to get information. So although the deployment of the control protocol to from the different vendors might be slightly different, but almost the same. And because it's easier to get information for those public control protocols, so most of the security research is focused on SCADA. Okay, the next one is what is IT and OT. And people usually use the Purdue model to describe the architecture of IT and OT. So the top layers, the layer level 4 and level 5, they are stuff PC and web server. So they are Windows system and maybe Linux systems, and it's known as IT domain. And there's a DMZ zone, which separates the IT and level 3 below, which is OT domain. So in OT domain, there are still some Windows devices like HMI, but also the important thing is there are some devices like PLC and lower level like a sensor or IED, which is using the signal data. So in OT, they are using the special control protocols instead instead of the normal like network connections in the IT domain. So, what is adversary emulation? So you can see this is the MITRE, ATT, and CK ICS matrix. And it's similar to ATT and CK matrix, but it's used for ICS attack. And it just detailedly lists all kind of like behavior and targets for user to mapping an attack route on this map. So like you can like precisely describe attack process. And it's using TTP architectures. So you can see the tactics and techniques and procedures. And tactic is the highest level, which is used for describe the target of the behavior, and the lowest level is like procedure is like more detailed about what it's doing and doing for what. And adversary emulation is a very good example for using that matrix. Is you actually adversary emulation is that using the known threat and automation to find if your environment is also has the same vulnerability. For example, using the attack process from the APT group to find out that if your environment or this enterprise is also vulnerable to some attack. So if you use the mapping the attack process to ATT and CK matrix, the blue team can very easily to understand like what are you doing and something and get more details. And this kind of solution is known as a bridge and attack simulation, BS. So if you see someone selling like BS, it actually is adversary emulation tool. So this kind of tool is different from the attack framework like Metaexploit or other like ISF, something like toolkits. Adversary emulation tool is focused more on like completely process the whole attack from the known threat. So in this table, you can see there is a lot of different tools, no matter it's like commercial or open source, but most of them are for like IT domain. So it's focused on like Windows attack or web attack, and just very few of them focus on OT. And we try to find it, but in our knowledge, it's just very few. So we decide to make one. And as I mentioned, if we want to make an adversary emulation tool, we have to know the skill that's from the old known threats. So we review and analyze the actions in those ICS malware, which is defined by MITRE. And we'll use the conclusion to make our tool. And this is the ICS mail overview from 2010 to 2022. From the famous one, Stuxnet, from in 2010 to 2022, industrial, which is highly focused on Erkland factories. And you can see there's a lot of like different kinds of malwares, and they are doing like different things. But actually, you can divide it to 4 generations. In the first generations, from 2011 to 2012, they focus on data steal, sniffing the packet and informations in the network. And the second generation is they start to have a modular design. It means that besides the data stealing, they start to have like a different kind of attack script in one malware, and also support different protocol attack. And also there's an interesting one is PLC Blaster, which is published in Black Hat US 16, I guess. And it's kind of like a POC for abusing the connection between two PLC. And then from 2017, the ransomware is getting popular. So a lot of ransomware is focusing on IT domain. And to 2022, there's a new type of malwares, which is like highly high flexibility and has modular design and attack more kind of like control protocols. So if we focus on control protocols, you can see the trend from 2011 to 2020 is from like simple protocols to multiple protocols. So we have small summaries for these malwares. Basically, they have two targets: information collections or try to break the factory's operation. And they are three kind of ICS malware. The first one is like worm-like malware. They focus on spreading and try to hide in the network and to do information collection, like Stuxnet or HITB. And the second one is ransomware, which is like one core is focused on like finding specific process in your Windows vulnerable old Windows systems and try to encrypt it and ask for money and stop the factory operation. And the last one is the toolkits, which is really attacking the different protocols like PIPEDREAM. And here's the 4 points we want to share during we analyze their actions. The first one is only some of the malware really attack the devices. Rest of them are focused on Windows systems. And then we have saw some like a hard-coded target IP in the source code of malwares, which is super strange because it means that the attacker knows which internal IP address they are going to attack. And the second one is they know which tag file, tag name they are going to get. And tag is kind of, there's a type of the control protocols is object-oriented, which means like a tag is like an object. So it has its own name, and you can write or read the data inside of it, but its name might be, you will never know that his name is representative for something. So it's like attacker knows which tag he or she is going to get. So it's like pretty weird. There should be an insider or there should be a data leakage before the attack. And the third one is actually PLC has 3 modes: running mode, program mode, and hybrid mode. So, and they need like a user to physically touch the button to change the mode. So, for those malwares, if they can attack this kind of PLC, for example, upload the malicious code to this PLC, it means these PLCs are misconfigured, or some insider just touched the button to change the mode. And the last one is usually in the factory, the real factory, the HMI and PLCs are deployed as a one-to-one or one-to-multiple IP address connection. So we mentioned about the PLC Blaster in the Black Hat US, which is try to abuse the connection between PLCs, might not work in the real scene. And then we have a lot of like a malware, so we just pick the 6 which is focused on attacking OT, especially control protocols. And then we summarize their actions to 4 stage and 2 main targets, and we just self-extend this conclusion for sense ICS kill chain stage 2. So let's quickly go through the 4 stages. So their main target is about data or control. So for data targets, actually the data is given by devices or sensor. So if the data is still or it looks like strange or it is manipulated, the data shows on HMI, which human may read, is the human may see the like strange data, and he may make bad decisions or wrong decisions, try to fix it, and also some protective actions might be triggered because the weird data. So for this target is focused on data manipulation. And another one is control. So control is like you try to send some command or function code, and usually this kind of attack is like a normal instruction, but lead to bad results. Or you just use existing CVE to attack this kind of devices. So if the wrong or malformed command run on the devices, so devices might do strange actions. And let's go to the stage 1. For the stage 1, for the data targets, it's like finding the target devices in the environment. So, for example, in 2017, Triton broadcast a specific packet, like a hello packet, to an environment and try to find if there are any devices respond the hello packets. And once he gets the response, he will know like, oh, this is the target I want to attack. For control, you can use the known like function code to try to communicate or connect with the devices. For example, if you use Mmap, actually Mmap can scan the Modbus device in the environment. So actually Modbus is using the official function code 17 to find the devices in the environment. And also 42 is available. So in this stage, the important thing is discover the devices that you want to attack. And the second stage is collection. In this stage, both data and control target is collecting data or the device status and try to find out that if this the target victim devices is in the proper status that I can attack. For example, in Stuxnet is try to sniff the speed for 2 weeks, so it can find the like a maximum and minimum speed. And if it just manipulate the data to the above the maximum speed, the device may be broke. So and another one is like Havix is try to enumerate the OPC text like we have mentioned before and get some value in this text. So let's step to the step 3, the manipulation. So in the data, for data targets, you can manipulate the data on HMI or PLCs. And also, if you try to manipulate the data, you can focus on like that's the whole system to send the wrong alarm, or to like mute the alarm. So it will also cause the bad results. And then for POC, you can manipulate data, which might trigger the program in the POCs that's doing like protective actions. So for control, it's easier you just try to abuse those normal function code and also use CVEs like in 2016 industrial using the IEC 61850 instruction to abuse the instruction to damage the devices. And also in 2022 PIPEDREAM used multiple protocols attack to control the whole like environment. And the last one is the check-in invasion. That some malware may try to overwrite the malicious code with the meaningless code, or try to use a kill disk to clean up the logs. And also, there are special things in control target. Is some malware will try to recheck the status of a device after he sent for example, he send a stop command to the devices, and then he will send a check status command to this device to double check if this device has already stopped. So this is the 4 stages of the 6 malwares, and we will use this conclusion to build the OT adversary emulation tool. Okay, so this is an overview of the ranking, POC ranking. It means you can see the right-hand side in the table. There are several protocols like supported by some vendors, but usually one devices can support like different kind of protocols at the same time, and usually they have like for example, the first one, Siemens, they may have their own protocols S7, but they also support Modbus. So if we want to make tools like a lot of people would like to use, so we just pick like some of the top ranking protocols and try to make it as useful tools. So as we have the 4-stage conclusions, we try to reconstruct and reproduce the malware's actions. And because some of the malware did just try to sniff data and without manipulate or control the devices, so we just try to extend the attack from those malwares. And also those malwares are focused on one protocols. So we try to reproduce the same actions in the different protocols. And if you guys have used like automatic tools there, or you try to download the POC, like attacking IoT devices from GitHub, and you try to run, like over 90% you will get a fail, because the creators or who write the code, his environment is totally must be different as you have, and also somehow it just doesn't work on your devices. And you try to look into the code and maybe like 1,000 lines, and it's like super hard for you to debug for that POC. So if we want to make a tool, probably we can separate one like big step to several small step, and to map the ICS matrix. And also we want user to customize their combination, because usually in the one factory, there are like, there won't be only one vendors devices, maybe like several. So we want user to able to combine their own attack adversary emulations. And also actually, if you remember the Purdue model, if you want to attack factory, you have to get into the IT domain and then to the OT domain. So actually, IT attacks is necessary, but unfortunately, we are not IT professionals. So we have to find out some way for a user to pick or to combine their own IT attacks. And so we found this one. It's Caldera, which is open source developed by MITRE. And it's focused on IT, so we build a plugin for it. It's for OT, and we support 10 protocols and 23 techniques. And we also use the four stages conclusion to build the tools. So this is the example for we reproduce the Trisis malware attack. Like from first steps, we just separate to several different steps, and you can modify the payload inside by yourself, or switch the sequence, or add more attack from other like control protocols we provide, or you can write your own one and put it into the attack. And this is an example, and in the next part, which will be introduced by my partner So Young, he will extend the attack chains and have some demos that we use our tool to attack the real devices. Please have a. Okay.
Next, we will introduce two extended attacks we have done. One is MailSec, another is IEC-61A50. So first one, we will introduce IEC-61A50. It is a standard used in electrical environment and have three protocols in this standard. One is NNS protocol, used to control the device. Another is SV protocol, used to measure the device failure. And the other is Goose protocol, used to pass the event alert between ID device. And here we take Goose as an example. It is a protocol for broadcasting event. When no new event comes out, the old event will be broadcast all the time and will let the value of SQ9 increase. And when new event happen, SQ9 will recycle 0 and SQ9 will increase. What we want to do here is to sniff and fake these two values. Here is the structural diagram of Goose friend. Because we want to fake SQ9 and SQ9, so we need to know its position in the Goose PDU on the right side of the slide. And Goose will put some information in OData. We also need to know this information, but we may not know what the meaning of the OData content. Because this requires pre-analyze to understand. But we know Goose will passes where the event happened or not, and use the Boolean value to display. So we can simply, by sniffing the traffic for a period of time and flipping the content of the Boolean value. In our past practical experience, triggering an alarm will indirectly trigger the control of upstream device, because in general, factory will do some control to handle the exception. So we can indirectly affect the operation of the factory by triggering an alarm. And here is our attack chain. We will show the demo video later. we will sniff the traffic and analyzing and flipping the content. And now we will play the demo video. And unfortunately, our demo video will not include in their recording video. Yeah. And this is our IC-61A50 case bay. On the left side is our attack machine. On the right side is our HNI. And in the median is our case bay to simulate the IC-61A50. So first, we start our adversary emulation. And it will start to sniff package and want to find good package to sniff to record something. And we go to see the case bay. On the right side, our case bay have 3 devices, and cup, middle, and button. You can see in the middle, it display red. When it display red, it means alarm happen. And we want to trigger an alarm in the button device. So now, you can see the button device display red, so it means alarm happen. We can see our attack machine. It kills us that it finish our attack. And what we want to do here is to indirectly control other device. So we can go back to see the case bay. We didn't send any control package, but this device can on. Now we continue go back to our slide. Every time when we finish adversary emulation, we can think about the attack and defense aspects based on the results. The automatic simulation of protocol-based ICS attack is mainly based on the function of ICS protocol itself or non-vulnerabilities. On the attack side, we can find ICS equipment with vulnerability in a large number of devices with automatic attacks. And on the defense side, we can think about the result of the attack and address how to do alert or blocking without affecting the operation of the factory. And now we will introduce another case bay. It's Mitsubishi's electric device. From left to on the right side of the slide is the product diagram of the official website. From left to right, the product functions are the least to the most complete. And we use IQ-R series on the far right as the device we test. And the protocol in that device is MITRE. And here we use MITRE to briefly introduce the process of our general analysis of ICS protocol. First, we will read official user manual, and then map the function of each field to the technique defined by MITRE attack ICS. In general, we will focus on 2 parts. One is how to identify the ICS protocol, which is the green part of the slide. And another is how to use the function of the ICS protocol to control the device, which is the yellow part of the slide. And the red frame here is the yellow part we mentioned on the previous page. There will be 3 parts. One is function of the protocol. Another is device address. And the other is data to pass. What we want to explain here is how difficult we have in building automation, because device address will be different according to your cache-based environment. So you need to enumerate all the possible failures to cache and have no way of knowing what will happen after an attack. So for the convenience of demo, we have pre-analyzed the protocol and we know which failure represents which device address. Therefore, we can do a good job in the attack script directly. This is like the most ICS security incidents that happened in the past. Some incidents, hackers can precisely attack what they want to attack. It means that hackers know some specific information in advance. But if you stand from the point of the view of automation, under the condition that you don't know anything, you have to enumerate all possible failures. And it is also hard to know what will happen after an attack. And here we will go through the famous ICS security incidents that happened in the past, which named Stuxnet. We choose to use Stuxnet because it is a command attack trained on ICS security incidents. His main attack process is first to find cookie and then check version and read or write device address and finally do some abnormal operation. And we will use mailsec to reproduce his main content. And here is our attack chain for mailsec. And now we will play the demo video. And unfortunately, our demo video will not include in their recording video. Finally, we want to call about our opinion on the use of such tools by company. We believe that no matter what emulator you use, there are basically three kinds of attack. One is CVE, another is use some way to let device cannot control, and another is use the function of ICS protocol to do some abnormal operation. And when you want to use adversary emulation, it is hard to know what impact it will have on the factory. So we think maybe you can use Digital Queen as a clone of the factory. Although Digital Queen still have many challenges, we believe it will be a trend in the future. And here is the summary of our speech. First, we call about the background knowledge of ICS and adversary emulation. Then we summarize the behavior of ICS malware in the past 10 years. Then we propose 4 stages of its behavior. And from data and control these cool parts, point of the view to explain. Then we propose its attack using 10 different ICS protocol and using IEC-61850 and mailsec to show the adversary emulation. And finally, we call about our views on the use of such tools by enterprise. Thank you.
Okay, any questions?
I was wondering, some of my prior work with oil fields and large ships, they have all migrated to encrypted TCP, both on Wi-Fi and over the wire, including most commonly the Siemens PLCs. You're not going with what you have here to be able to just randomly flip bits and necessarily know that things are going to work out. It's encrypted data. What are your plans moving forward around, or do you have any around the secure comms between the HMI and the PLCs that they're talking to?
I think it's similar to what we have demoed. If you want to focus on show the wrong data on HMI or show like randomly not strange thing on HMI, it's similar to what we have done. Is you just if you are in the same like network, you can sniff and try to catch the packets and try to revise the data and try to replay. It's like an easier way to do that, but you need to have the back knowledge, like which data you want to revise, like which digit you should revise. So that's also why we talk about the flexibilities that in every user they have all different environments. So you have to let them to able to modify the payload.
Any more questions?
Hi, I got a question. Okay, so based on your demonstration just now, I see that you said you guys doing that based on the additional plugin on Caldera, right? Okay, so my question is that plugin solely can be used on Caldera, or is it customizable to do it like on others simulation tool as well? Thank you.
Pardon, can you repeat your question again?
Okay, my question is, based on your demonstration, right? You guys using additional plugin for Caldera.
Yes.
Okay, so those plugin can be used on others simulation tools besides Caldera?
Yes. Actually, the Caldera is just a platform. The core is the payload, right? So if you after you like install this kind of plugin, like our Caldera plugin, you can just copy the payload inside and you can use it. Like no matter you are using Caldera or not. So it's written in Python, and we just separate to like small steps, so you can use by yourself. But still, we have some dependency. For example, you have to find the devices first, then you can start to do something, right? So we still have the dependency in each steps. So you just have to know that what kind of payload you want to get.
Any more questions? Okay. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.